Penumbra Overture was Frictional Games' first large-scale horror experience, greatly outperforming their first few projects, including the tech demo, also called Penumbra. It was a great success, leaving many players wanting more. Although their formula was later refined heavily with the release of the Amnesia titles, and even the other Penumbra titles, Overture still had many moments leaving players shocked, scared, and downright terrified. Here are some of those moments, with the top 10 scariest events in Penumbra Overture. During the course of your adventures through an older part of the mine you find yourself in, you're directed by the only other voice you hear down there, Reds, to enter a series of tunnels connected to a water cave. You make your way up, only to realize these tunnels are home to very large and very angry spiders who start popping out of eggs and chasing you. It's a tense sequence, having to crawl away quickly from these arachnids, block their path, burn them up, whatever it takes to get away. Terrifying for anyone who has a fear of spiders or tight spaces, but also for the average player, with the music also giving a good part in making the scene tense and horrifying. Early in the game, you find yourself in a dark storage room with a madman on the other side of a locked door. A nearby trapdoor seems to be your only way forward in this area. Mere moments after acquiring the fluid lighter gas, a vital ingredient in progressing through the mines, and a useful tool to light your way, you venture back through the basement tunnels you crawled through. Only to hear horrible sounds near the trapdoor, the brutal struggle of someone being dragged away by spiders, or maybe something even worse. The only thing left back upstairs is a trail of blood and a hole in the wall, a terrifying experience that leaves you feeling a lot less safe wherever you go in these mines, knowing that something or someone could come bursting straight through solid rock. After using a minecart to smash through an oddly new brick wall, you enter what looks to be a lab of sorts. Looking around, you quickly realize someone's been studying huge worm creatures that inhabit the underground around you, not exactly putting you at ease. After dislodging a key from a closed door and entering the dark room beyond, you flip the light switch, only to be greeted with this. Writing litters the walls, cabinets are overturned, and a giant hole is in the wall, even bigger than the one that the spider hater was dragged through, probably left by one of the worms. Even though the UV light helps you to progress by showing a hidden text on a note, the fear factor in first discovering the state of this room leaves the impression that you're still not safe here. One of those worms could return through that giant hole at any time. Or could it? Exiting the office area in one of the earliest stages of the game, you hear a foreboding sound. howl of a dog, followed by growling. The protagonist makes note of this himself, directing the player to take cover before a horrifying-looking dog rounds the corner. It's all too unfriendly looking, giving you the first real indicator that you're not safe down here, that things are very much out to get you. The dog is easily avoided, but a locked door up ahead means you'll have to contend with this thing some more if you want to progress. Looking all around for clues or items to progress, in one of the newer parts of the mine, you enter Shaft 13 and are immediately met with a cave-in blocking progression. Your only other option? To enter a familiar-looking tunnel. Only a few steps later, and your fears are confirmed after a cave-in. It's another spider-infested tunnel. This one's longer and more twisted than the last one, and the spiders even seem to be faster, and they come in greater amounts. There's no obstacles for you to use this time, though, and you're left to crawl away as fast as you can, or try to kill the spiders that catch up to you. You're safe once you reach the room at the end of the tunnel, but the feeling of tension is still difficult to shake after this harrowing experience. It's the beginning of real progress in the game at this point in time. You've cleared all the rock blocking the path with a giant digger and entered the passageway deeper into the mines. All seems well for a while until you come to a set of doors that won't open. Something seems terribly wrong after only a few seconds, and then the largest worm imaginable comes bursting through, chasing the player for a short while before falling into the pit that you crossed earlier. The sheer size of the worm, and the act of it pursuing you with its big, gaping mouth, is one of the most terrifying experiences in the game, and it's only seen once or twice. When this thing shows up, there's not much to do except run. This first worm sequence is one of the most iconic and frightening moments in the entirety of Penumbra Overture, and is remembered by most, if not all, who played. Back in the older parts of the mine, you've just gotten through the horror of the storage room, with the spider hater being dragged away. You unlock the door you came across earlier, and start to take a look around, only to hear a familiar howl and see the protagonist suggesting to block the door. Doesn't exactly work out too well, as a few seconds later, the door is broken down and the dog trudges inside anyway. It's made clear the dogs are relentless with this action, giving you the feeling no place, no obstacle, no blocked door is truly safe for you to avoid these canines. Chemical storage is your destination, and things seem to be going well at first, until an unexpected visitor bursts through the ceiling behind you. Another huge worm starts giving chase, but this time, it's not as simple as just outrunning the thing. Acid pits, wood planks, and a steel door are in your way. Being quick about things is the way to survive this sequence. The worm doesn't let much deter it until the end, leaving you scrambling to move forward the whole time it gives chase. The tail end of the game has you traverse another maze-like area of the newer mines, trying to get to Red, the person who's been guiding you forward this whole time. Unfortunately, the dogs have not been scarce. They're out and about now, with greater numbers and more health, making this last area more difficult to explore, and certainly more terrifying, even if one chooses to fight the dogs instead of run from them. It doesn't take much to find yourself surrounded by canines who have the instinct to attack on sight and call for friends if they're hurt. And finally, the ending. You've just had to kill off your only friend down in this dark place. You trudge through the giant metal door, find a list with Philip's father's name on it, someone you've been looking for all this time. You enter the next room and are greeted by a lone figure standing at the end of a hallway. There's nowhere else to go except forward. Then the lights cut out and the flashlight stops working. The tension builds until suddenly you're out cold. A terrifying moment to cap off Penumbra Overture and lead directly into the next title in the series, Penumbra Black Plague. Penumbra Overture as a whole has an excellent atmosphere and a few more scares that didn't quite make this list. Frictional Games went on to perfect what most players found scary about Overture and put that into their subsequent titles, such as Penumbra Black Plague, and even the Amnesia titles. To that end, that's going to be all for this countdown, and be on the lookout for more. Be sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and share this video with your friends. Thanks to all you horror fans for watching. I am the Midnight Researcher, and I will see you all around.